We're ready to tip this one off here in Logan as Iwako and Trevin Dorius tip off, and it's controlled by Utah State. Trevin Dorius only has 2 games this year where he's lost the opening tip-off. Max Schulga on the left wing has the ball tipped out of his hands, and there you go, first turnover of the game as UNLV is able to slap the ball away from Max Schulga, and here comes UNLV going the other way. Gilbert works to the left side, hands to Harkless. Back up top to Webster. Webster, three-point line extended straight away. Dishes to Gilbert, who rotates right, then stops in the middle of the court. Hands back to Harkless on the left wing. Finally dishes down low to Webster. Webster in the paint. Has to kick it back to Harkless. Here we go. 5 seconds. He rises for 3. Shoots and misses, but misses badly enough that it comes off the iron. Controlled by UNLV. Another jumper is missed, and another offensive rebound is taken back by UNLV. Already 2 offensive boards. Gilbert comes around the screen. Gets to the free throw line. Floater with the right hand is up and good. And third time's a charm for UNLV, and if they can get offensive rebounds, that's going to be a problem. This is not an elite rebounding team by any stretch.
No, it just comes down to who's going to be the aggressor on that first possession. That was UNLV on the glass.
Stephen Ashworth, three-point leader in the country at 51% from beyond the arc. Taylor Funk, who's got his shot going a little bit as of late. Down low to Dorius. His left-hand floater is up and good from 2 feet on the baseline, and we're all tied up at 2 apiece.
Great find getting Dorius deep in the basket, and nice not making it too complicated, just a quick left-handed jump hook.
Gilbert retreats behind the U-State logo at midcourt, dishes to Webster, then to Harkless. Harkless on the right wing. Missed a three-pointer on his first possession, again averaging over 21 points a game in Mountain West Conference play. Driving in the lane, stopping in the lane, dishing down low, and the throw-down dunk. Iwako is able to get the dunk, and UNLV's up 4-2. Ashworth gets around his man, but caught up on the switch. Dishes it back to Funk, back to Ashworth. Pump fakes the 3, takes a step, takes the shot, and nestles it home. 3-point shot by Stephen Ashworth. Aggies lead for the first time tonight, 5-4. Harkless extends the elbow. Offensive foul. That's going back to Utah State. First foul on Harkless.
Yeah, that was a great play by Stephen. Two really good recognitions by Ashworth. First of all, the mismatch. UNLV's in a 5-man switching right now, so he immediately got the center on him, pump faked him, and then did a great job of selling the call when Harkless extended his forearm.
Max Schulga crosses the timeline, gets around a screen. Looking for Dorius, instead shifts it right to Funk. Down low to Dorius, good position, but lost the handle on the way up, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Utah State.
Notice, Scotty, with the 5-man switching, Utah State guards have realized that's going to put their point guard on Trev, and they're going to go to him and try to take advantage of that mismatch.
Trevin Dorius may have a big role in this game, and he's been playing well over the last 5 games for Utah State. Looking for Funk on the curl on the baseline. It gets it to him, but loses the handle. Hands to Dorius, though. He'll clean up on aisle 9. Throw down with a 2-handed dunk.
That's the mismatch, and give these guys, especially Funk, credit for recognizing that this early in the game.
Gilbert to Harkless, up top to Rodriguez. Then weave it to Webster. Webster looking finally for Gilbert, who comes and collects. Ashworth puts a hand in his face, pass to the outside, goes out of bounds, turnover against UNLV. As a cheerleader on the far side, had the best angle on that reception. Aggies leading 7-4, 17:07 left to go here in the first half. Ashworth being guarded closely by Gilbert. Ashworth hands to Funk, then dishes right to Schulga. Schulga slings it to Dorius at the elbow. Dorius gets around his man. Is he going to spin? Yes, he does. Puts the floater up. Right hand good. Oh, Trevin Dorius doing work against Iwako.
Yeah, no mismatch or switch, but Trev's got some confidence right now.
Gilbert gets past his man, slings it left. Long 3 is up and missed. Rebound pulled down by Bairstow. Here comes Ryan Odom saying, let's go. Get the ball down the court. Bairstow gets to the elbow, retreats, hands back to Funk on the right wing. Aggies leading 9-4 with 16.5. Again, down to Dorius, and again the dunk. Give him the bucket, give him the foul, and it's Dorius's world. We're just paying rent.
Hey, honestly, give Trev a ton of credit for sealing his man, but give his teammates more credit for recognizing the mismatch, not trying to take the bigger guy off the dribble, but just sealing. be very interesting to see if Kevin makes an adjustment. That's UNLV head coach Kruger, and stops the five-way switching, because they are punishing it right now.
Trevin Dorius' career high is 12. He's got 8 with a chance to get to 9 with the free throw. Lines up the free throw and knocks it down. He's got 9 here in the first 3.5 minutes of this game. For all of you that had that on your bingo board, you're a smarter man than I am. Harkless dishes over to Jordan McCabe into the game. McCabe slings it left, looking for Gilbert. Gilbert trying to post up his man down low, gets around Dorius, pump fakes, fouled by Dorius, and that's going to be Keyshawn Hall is going to go to line. If there's a kryptonite for Trevin Dorius, it certainly has been the fact that he's gotten himself in foul trouble throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, and anytime a player is getting in foul trouble, it's not the aggressive getting in front of him. It's kind of the dumb fouls and the mistakes, just getting out of position and then trying to make up for it. That happened in Nevada. You got 1 or 2 of those. It's really important that Trevin doesn't get any dumb fouls and uses them well.
Both free throws up and good by Keyshawn Hall. That was only his 7th and 8th free throw of the season. Snaps a Utah State 10-0 run. Aggies lead 12-6. Inbound to Shulga. Shulga being guarded closely by Gilbert. Bounce pass to Bairstow. Bairstow yet to take an attempt in this ball game. And the ball stepped out of his hands. Here comes another steal. Driving. Layup is missed. And the rebound taken by UNLV and Harkless. His reverse layup is up and good. And I'm not exactly sure why Taylor Funk gave up on that rebound.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He was standing there and he just watched the ball bounce. That's the level of aggression we're talking about.
2 turnovers on Utah State. Remember, UNLV forces nearly 20 a game. Cross-court pass to Shulga. Shulga looking for Akin, but Shulga's going to keep it himself. Gets the elbow, bounce pass to Bairstow. Bairstow splits the double team, leaves it for Akin. Pump fake, shot up, good, and he's fouled. Beautiful pass. Stephen Ashworth slipping it down low to Akin. Akin able to get the bucket and draw the foul. Aggies up by 6, 14-8, 15-20 left here in the first half. An entertaining start to this one on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. Aggies out to an early 14-8 lead over UNLV thanks to 9 points in the first 3.5 minutes from Trevin Dorius. Utah State Athletics and America First Credit Union featuring the academic success of USU student athletes. This week, the America First Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week goes to Peyton Tevens from the women's track and field team. Taylor Funk, an honorable mention on the men's basketball team, as well as Marshall Rasmussen from the men's track and field team. Well, this has been an interesting game so far. You can see UNLV's ability to create turnovers. They've only got 2 so far, but again, they can pile up in a hurry.
Well, and I talked about in the pregame them getting in passing lanes, and it's actually been the opposite thus far. They really have just gone and ripped the ball out of these guards' hands. That's where Max can't be, too cool for school, and he's got to be really strong with it. Steven's got to be really strong with it. Sean really strong with it, because these guys are going to rip it from them and then keep their composure under that pressure and continue to attack the mismatch on the 5-man switch.
Both teams with 2 early turnovers, both teams with 4 points off of those turnovers. Here comes Dan Akin to try to complete the old-fashioned 3-point play. Try to push Utah State's lead back to 7. The largest lead for the Aggies has been 8. But here comes Atkins' free throw. It is up and good. So Utah State leads 15-8 over UNLV. Quickly down the court, McCabe weaves it back to Webster, who gets it right back. Guarded by Shulga, works the left side of the court. Looking left, trying to post up Keyshawn Hall. Up against Akin, puts his shoulder down. Akin falls to the court. Rebound on the missed shot, ripped down by Taylor Funk. Funk loses the handle, just a bad dribble, and here's another turnover. Quickly going the other way is Rodriguez, leaves it back low. Down low on the post pass, shot up and shot good, and it's Keyshawn Hall able to get the bucket. That's 6 points off of 3 Utah State turnovers tonight for UNLV. Stephen Ashworth swings it left to Shulga. Back to Ashworth. Ashworth on the baseline drive. Up top to Atkin, who hands right back to Ashworth. Give it to Atkin. Atkin double teamed. Spins out of it. Pass deflected away. He's able to collect. Gives it to Bairstow. He rises for three. Looks good. It is good. Sean Bairstow buries the three. Aggies up by 8, 18-10, marching their largest lead of the game.
The one adjustment UNLV makes is puts their big man underneath the rim when there's a mismatch. Utah State will have that corner three available if they can get it there.
McCabe trying to get around Shulga. Picks up his dribble. Slings it out to the three-point line. Driving once again, and another missed opportunity for Keyshawn Hall, who cannot finish at the rim, and Utah State comes away with the ball. Sling it back to Atkin, give it back to Shulga. Shulga tried to slip it to Atkin, couldn't get it to him. Bairstow works left. Ashworth for three, no good. You don't hear that often, very often, as a 51% three-point shooter is Stephen Ashworth. He's 1 for 2 on the night tonight from beyond the three-point line. McCabe against Shulga, picks up his dribble in the lane, slings it left. Crossover dribble, driving, shot off the glass, no good, and Ashworth comes away with another rebound. Stephen Ashworth quickly in transition. Stops, hands to Bairstow. He'll rise for another three. No good, and Atkin tries to pull down the rebound and draws the foul. Shimon Zapala is going to check in. We have not seen a lot from him this year. RJ Idlerock also checking in. Shimon Zapala, last action he's seen in a game was 2 minutes against Washington State. They reversed the call, not a foul. They say out of bounds off of Utah State, and they will give it back to UNLV. Aggies still lead by 8, 18-10. McCabe crossing the timeline. Slings it left to Gilbert. Gilbert then to number 24, Jackie Johnson, who's had a nice run for UNLV. Back to McCabe. Back to Gilbert. Gilbert drives. Gilbert off the glass. Really difficult shot and gets it to go. Cuts Utah State's lead to 6, 18-12. You can see the athleticism on display, especially around the rim for UNLV. Sean Bairstow hassled by Webster. And what do we got?
Big three in the key on Zapala.
So another turnover against Utah State. That's 4 now. I think that 12 number may have been a little too aggressive.
That's what they got to do. They've got to keep it under 12. If they're up in the mid-teens to high teens, that gives UNLV absolutely a chance. Gilbert to McCabe. McCabe near the U State logo. RJ Idlerock comes out to meet him. Gives back to Gilbert. Gilbert now on the left wing, looking for a screen from Iwaku. Gets in the lane, drives off the glass, got it to go. So Gilbert with a couple of big buckets, and Utah State's 8-point lead has now been cut in half. It's 18-14. Bairstow back to Ashworth. Ashworth driving baseline. Looking for Bairstow on the right low block. Bairstow double team. Bairstow leaves it for Idlerock. Pump fakes the three. Gets into the elbow. Bad pass on the court and controlled by who? It's going to be a jump ball, and it'll go to UNLV on alternating possessions. Ooh. Aggies with some rough passing in the post, and those passing lanes are just being swarmed over by UNLV. Yeah, like I said, the adjustment that they're making, UNLV has made, is when they get the switch and the mismatch, they're now taking their, whoever the biggest dude on the offside, so the skip pass to the baseline is what's going to be open.
5 turnovers now for Utah State. Again, UNLV forces about 21 a game. McCabe to Jackson. Aggies shift to a zone to McCabe. McCabe outside the three-point line. Leaves it down low to Webster. Back to McCabe on the right baseline. Tries to get around Ashworth. Picks up the dribble. Swings it up top. Long three by Jackson is up and misses it. And airballed. Kept in play by UNLV, but the pass goes right to Bairstow. Bairstow to Ashworth. Ashworth driving. Ashworth nearly turns it over. Bairstow to Atkin. Atkin swings it left to Idlerock. Idlerock on the baseline drive. He's cut off nicely. So Utah State rotates it around the horn. Now Bairstow driving. Bairstow fouled on the way up.
Aggies miss Zapala wide open. Dan had the chance to feed it to him. Didn't get it.
Timeout on the court. Utah State leading by 4. 18-14. 11-17 left here in the first half. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you can save. Geico.com, easy. Well, Utah State's gone on a scoring drought of nearly 3 minutes, but still lead by 4, 18-14. Aggies are shooting at 78% from the field, 7 of 9, so you think they're blowing out UNLV, right? Well, no. It's a 4-point game because the Aggies have turned it over 5 times, leading to 8 UNLV points, and that's exactly what UNLV does. They first force turnovers, they get points off of those turnovers, and the Aggies need to find a way to right the ship there. Big thanks to D.L. Evans Bank for supporting Aggie athletics. D.L. Evans Bank, a community bank with local employees helping their communities succeed. All right, so Scott Gerard alongside Spencer Nelson, and this is a team that's going to make your life pretty miserable for for all 40 minutes, and they're certainly doing that here against Utah State.
Yeah, you look in the last 3 minutes, Utah State with 3 turnovers. Percentage-wise, I mean, Utah State's great. 7 of 9 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3-point range. They're even on the rebounding side. But you just take 2 or 3 shots away when you're shooting 70%, 75%. That really matters. Utah State's got to firm up with the ball, especially their guards.
Bairstow in the free throw line's been a bit of a roller coaster. He's 54%. Every time he shows glimpses of getting out of that rut, the struggles kind of pick up again, but he hits the first one. He'll have one more coming up.
Great job on the reverse jinx, Scotty. I know where your head's at.
Yeah, I do my best. Had to explain the reverse jinx to my 11-year-old last night.
Oh.
Here comes the second free throw for Bairstow. Knocks it down, 2 for 2 for Sean Bairstow. And the Aggies lead by 6, 20-14. For all the turnovers, UNLV hasn't been able to go on that big run to try to get the lead back, but they're certainly capable of it at any given moment. McCabe, guarded by Idlerock. Looking right, gets it to Jackie Johnson. He gets into the lane, and he will draw the foul. I do not believe it was on the shot. It'll be the third team foul for Utah State as Taylor Funk checks in. Let's see who checks out. It'll be Bairstow who gets a breather. So Shimon Zapala, again, who has not played much at all this year and has not played at all since the Washington State game, and even then only had 2 minutes. Inbound to Gilbert. Gilbert, who's got 6 points to lead UNLV, spins around Shulga, attacks, gets it off the glass. No good, but the follow-up by Uwako is able to go as he crashes the boards, and that's the 4th offensive rebound for UNLV. Zapala, Shulga gets a screen from Zapala, works the right side of the court, swings it to Funk. Funk back to Shulga. Shulga drives in the lane, shows back to Akin, but the ball deflected. Back to Shulga. Shulga outside the 3-point line with 8 seconds, 7 seconds, rises, fires for 3, no good, and the rebound pulled down by Uwako.
Kind of a tough lineup offensively with Dan and Zapala. Look for a substitution to go a little smaller.
4-point lead. McCabe takes the jumper from 2 feet inside the line, gets the long 2 to go, and now UNLV only trails by 2, 20-18. Shulga near the U State logo. Shulga looking for some help. Zapala sets the screen. Shulga up top to Funk. He'll take the long straightaway 3. No good. Looked good for a moment. Ball goes out of bounds. It should be Utah State's ball. It is. Put 20 back on the clock as Gilbert couldn't track down the rebound. Jackie Johnson couldn't track down the rebound. Zapala takes an early breather. Atkin, Idlerock, Funk, Ashworth, and Shulga are your 5 Aggies out on the court. Ashworth collects the inbounds, comes around to screen, works to the right side, bounce pass to Funk. He'll rise for 3. That is good. Taylor Funk buries the 3. Aggies up by 5, 23-18. Utah State now 3 of 7 beyond the 3-point line. Keyshawn Hall swings it up top to Johnson. Johnson to McCabe. McCabe tries to cross over, gets in the lane, up under against Shulga. Gives up, dishes back up top to Rodriguez. He swings it left. Long 3 by Gilbert is good from the baseline. Hall. Keyshawn Hall, number 14, with the 3 ball. R.J. Idlerock draws the foul on the drive and will get 2 free throws. 23-21, 2-point lead as Keyshawn Hall gets hit with a foul. And R.J. Idlerock goes to the line, who has not shot a lot of free throws this year. In fact, only 10. He is 8 of 10 from the line. Bairstow's going to check in for Shulga. That's the 5th team foul for UNLV. First free throw is, I'm going to take the crowd's word for it. I was screened away. It's good.
It was good.
One more for R.J. Idlerock. Again, with the injuries to Rylan Jones, RJ is going to be called upon a lot while Ryland is out. No word or no timetable on his return. Idle Rock goes 2 for 2 from the line. Trevin Dorius, who had 9 early points, is checking back in. Atkin checks out.
I was hoping the coach would see that. Look, from a pro perspective, all they have to do is run the high pick and roll with Steven and Trevin, get the switch, and attack it like they did the first 4 minutes of the game. Let's see if the Aggies go back to that on the offensive end.
McCabe near the midcourt logo. As Idle Rock gives him some space. McCabe comes around the screen, rises for 3, and knocks it down from the left wing. And it's a 1-point game, 25-24. McCabe's now got 5 points in his 7 minutes out on the court. Ashworth crossing the timeline. UNLV 40% from the field, Utah State 43%. Funk wide open straightaway 3. Yes! Gets that 3 right back.
Scotty, play after play after play. It's the exact same. Get the switch, either Funk gets the 3 or else hit Trevin down in the post.
It's not that complicated.
It's not rocket science. It's Carl and John just running the same play over and over.
Hall to Rodriguez, back to McCabe. McCabe's got a bit of a hot hand for UNLV, guarded by Idle Rock. Swing it right. And hit a floater with the left hand, up and good by Jackie Johnson, who averages nearly 7 a game, and he's off to a nice start. And both offenses are on, firing on all cylinders. Idle Rock pump fakes the 3, drives, double team, needs to get rid of it, kicks it back to Ashworth. He'll take the baseline 3, missed, tipped up and controlled by UNLV. Nearly stolen away by Ashworth. McCabe, though, comes away with it on the right wing. UNLV looking to have their first lead since being up 4-2 in this game. McCabe comes around the screen, has some space. Instead retreats, looking for Johnson, now down low on the right low block. Spinning is Owaku. He puts the shot up in the free throw area and knocks it down, and UNLV and Utah State all tied up at 28 apiece. Ashworth gets the screen from Dorius. Drives to the left side of the court. Looking for Funk, down to Dorius. Ball tipped away from him. It stays with Utah State. 15 seconds on the shot clock when we come back. We got a doozy here. Utah State and UNLV all square at 28 apiece. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Time for your Aggie scoring summary, brought to you by your Utah pork producers. Providing safe and wholesome pork products to Utah families for over 25 years. Visit utahporkproducers.org. Aggie's largest lead in this game was 8 at 18-10. They did go on a 10-0 run near the early stages of this game, but then it's been back and forth ever since. UNLV has made their last 6 field goal attempts, and we are all square at 28 apiece. Utah State shooting 64% from the field, including 4 of 9 from 3, but UNLV has forced 5 turnovers, have turned those into 8 points, and that is how we are all tied up, again with 7:25 left to go in the first half. You just mentioned to me during the break, from a guy who played the game at a high level and coached the game at the collegiate level, you're having fun watching this one.
Yeah, this is this is a chess match. Utah State came out, recognized the mismatch, kept going to it. UNLV's adjusted by keeping the offside big in the key more, but honestly, it is run the same play over and over and over and see how they adjust and then attack it.
Set to inbound on the baseline is Utah State, trying to reclaim the lead after UNLV has tied it up. Bounce pass to Dorius, hands to Shulga. Shulga on the left baseline, double team, needs to get rid of it. Bounce pass to Ashworth, cross court to Bairstow. Pump fake the 3, get into the lane, bounce it to Dorius, who is just mugged in the lane. Nothing too overly dirty, just pump fake, got a guy up in the air and came underneath.
Great job by Trev to actually go for the shot. Sometimes you see dudes just cover down to protect themselves and they end up getting the ball out of bounds. Trev actually kept with the shot, so he gets 2 free throws.
Dorius goes to the line. Again, nothing bad, just sometimes when you pump fake well enough, you're going to get a hard foul.
Yeah, 2 guys went up in the air. They had nowhere to go, so they had to land on him.
Trevin Dorius, 2 free throws. Shooting into that Utah State student section. First free throw is off. 1 more coming up.
Did you call the bank, Scotty?
I did not.
That was almost a bank. That's why it didn't go in. If you would have called the bank, I think it would have gone.
Now it's on me, Trevin. Dorius lines up his second free throw. And Utah State sees Trevin Dorius knock down the shot. Dorius has got double digits tonight with 10 points. Again, career high was at Washington State when he had 12. Hopefully he'll eclipse that. Had 11 the other night against Nevada. Nice baseline drive. Gets it to go. Hung on the rim forever for Keyshawn Hall, but the ball drops and UNLV leads by 1, 30-29. Stephen Ashworth brings the ball down the court, crosses the timeline, works to the right side of the court, slings it right. Baseline drive is a travel on Funk. Another turnover. That'll be 6 for Utah State with 6:45 left here in the first half.
I had mentioned, you notice once the ball gets down on the baseline side, the defender jumps on the high side and they want to drive baseline. In that situation, they wanted to charge, and that's how they take more charges, is because they force baseline. He didn't charge, but he turned it over with the travel.
30-29, UNLV's largest lead in this game was 2 at 4-2. They have a chance to get their largest lead on this possession. They've made their last 7 field goals, and a foul on the shot does not go, but it will send UNLV to the line for 2 free throws. Max Shulga is the one that gets hit with the foul, and Gilbert's going to the line for a couple of free throws.
You saw Max voice some frustration, telling his teammates they need to talk. What he's telling, he knew the screen was coming, but what Funk needs to do is communicate what's the defense going to be. And obviously there was some uncertainty there. Guys didn't know where to go. They've got to be loud and early so everyone's on the same page.
Gilbert makes the first free throw. One more coming up. Gilbert's got 7 points. Hall has got 9 to lead the way for UNLV. But Gilbert, one more free throw. Try to give UNLV their largest lead of 3. Second free throw is good. UNLV perfect from the line tonight, 4 for 4. Utah State from the free throw line, 7 of 8. Stephen Ashworth working against Hall. Hands to Shulga, weaves it to Bairstow. Bairstow works to the left side, hands back to Ashworth. Ashworth near the middle of the court. 3-point line extended to Shulga. Cross-court pass to Bairstow. Bairstow drives base, kicks it back to Ashworth. Good look for 3, but the shot will not go. And here comes UNLV feeling good. They've made their last 7 field goal attempts. Utah State has not made a shot over the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. McCabe, who's been a nice lightning rod here for UNLV, controls the dribble. Hands to Gilbert. Gilbert swings it cross-court to Hall, then to Rodriguez. By the way, they've done all of this with Harkless not on the court. Harkless has only played 5 minutes. Pass in the post, stolen away by Utah State. Aggies force a turnover. Quickly to Ashworth. Ashworth gets in the lane, swings it to Funk. Funk drives baseline. Cut off nicely. Ashworth to Shulga. He'll line up the 3, and no good. Tipped out and controlled by UNLV. And who's that foul going to go on?
They don't know. The refs don't know.
Oh, it's going to go against Ashworth. A collision at midcourt could have gone either way. It goes against Ashworth. That'll be the 15th foul on Utah State. They're still talking about it at midcourt. Yep, it stays well in Ashworth. And as you can tell, Aggie fans aren't thrilled about it.
Yeah, refs did not know. Whistle had to be blown.
Yeah.
All 3 guys looked at each other, hoping the other guy would call it. One of them finally did.
So UNLV leading by 3, and now Harkless, no, he does not come back out on the court. Thought for a moment he did, but E.J. Harkless got off to a bit of a rough stretch, was pulled off the court by Kevin Kruger, and has not been on the court since. So the best player, at least statistically for UNLV, has not been part of this good run by the Rebels. Hall to Rodriguez, looking for McCabe. McCabe, 3-point line extended, being guarded by Ashworth. Finally dishes it left. Trying to cross over is Gilbert. Gilbert drives baseline, back to McCabe. Pump fakes the 3, and a travel. And the ball goes back to Utah State. 32-29, Rebels lead by 3. The Aggie scoring drought is now 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And about double that in terms of a field goal. And E.J. Harkless will come in on the next dead ball for UNLV. Bairstow works around the screen, trying to drive baseline. Here comes a double team from behind and stolen away by UNLV. Ball still on the court and taken back by Funk. Funk leads to Ashworth. And now what do we got? The official timeout. Are they looking at the shot clock on what they've got to call here? They want 26 back on the shot clock instead of 9 where it stands right now with 4:45. So they said that UNLV got the turnover and Utah State turned UNLV back over. So a change of possession resets the shot clock at 30. Now it stands at 26. Ashworth hands to Shulga. Shulga coming around the Atkins screen, drives into the lane, leaves it for Funk. He lines up the 3. Yes, sir! Taylor Funk buries the 3. And the Aggies have tied it up at 32 apiece. And a foul is going to go against Muwaka into the game, who just levels an Aggie. Shulga got in his way, and an offensive foul goes against the Rebels. I may not be an elite level basketball IQ guy, but I could have called that foul.
Yeah, I think you had that one. I'll say this, I get the sense looking at UNLV, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They lost that last game, and you can tell they've been challenged by their coach because they are playing physical.
And they know Utah State has struggled with physicality too.
Absolutely.
Shulga near the midcourt logo. Drives, gets into the lane, kicks it up top. Funk's got a wide open 3, takes it and hits it. Taylor Funk, back-to-back threes. Aggies up by 3, 35-32. It's a 6-0 Taylor Funk run. What an atmosphere tonight. 4 minutes left here in the first half. McCabe rises, takes the long 2 off the front of the iron. Ashworth taps it to Atkin. Atkin's able to collect and give it right back to Ashworth. Ashworth cross court to Funk. Take another 3. Yes! This place is going nuts. Utah State leads by 6. A 9-0 Taylor Funk run. Back-to-back threes for the Aggies. Timeout on the court. We'll take a full 1-minute timeout. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield.
1 and 4. Wow.
Utah State on a 9-0 run thanks to Taylor Funk as the Aggies lead by 6, 38-32 over UNLV. Rocky Mountain Dermatology offers Botox, skin cancer, acne, cool sculpting, and laser hair removal services in North Logan, Utah, providing you advanced dermatology and surgery in Cache Valley. Well, Taylor Funk's parents have moved to Cache Valley, got an Airbnb to stay with, essentially to be able to watch every game of his final year in a collegiate uniform. And we just met, I believe, his sister.
Yeah, his sister came in from Pennsylvania. He got his 2 nieces with Funk sweatshirts.
I know.
Yeah, it's the Funk girls in town. Now, if he keeps playing like this, they're going to have to come back for every home game.
That's what I said. That's what I told him. Like, if he plays well and they win tonight, they're going to have to come back for every game.
Go fund me for the Punk girls.
Yes.
Funk girls.
By the way, UNLV's not only gone on a scoring drought, they now have had 3 turnovers over the last 2 minutes. Utah State hasn't turned it over in a bit of a stretch, and the Aggies over the last minute on a 9-0 run. Let's see how UNLV regroups. McCabe crosses the timeline, picked up by Ashworth. Crowd is in on this one, if you can't tell. McCabe trying to create some space, finally slips it to Gilbert. Gilbert back to McCabe. McCabe hands back to Gilbert. Keyshawn Gilbert gets into the lane, up against Bairstow. Attacks, puts a shot up, no good. Tipped around, controlled by Atkin. Outlets it quickly to Funk. Funk slings it over to Bairstow. Bairstow thought about the 3, instead hands back to Funk. Funk against Harkless, leaves over to Ashworth. Harkless switches on Ashworth. Ashworth on the right wing. E.J. Harkless guarding Ashworth as he slips it to Bairstow, to Shulga, to Atkin in the post. Atkin can't control it, and the ball is still on the court, controlled by Shulga. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And Utah State turns it over on a bad pass. It looked like Shulga thought he didn't have much time left before they reset the clock, and he panicked a bit.
Yeah, tried to skip it. This is where Dan's got to stop worrying about the contact and play basketball.
Yep, 38-32. Utah State missed opportunity there. McCabe gets around Ashworth, kicks it up top to Harkless. Harkless driving against Atkins, steps back, cut off nicely, kicks it right, long 3, right wing is no good, and the rebound ripped down by Funk. Outlets it quickly to Ashworth. 2:26 left in the half. Aggies up by 6. 38-32, still on a 9-0 run, although the Aggies have missed their last 2 field goal attempts. Ashworth harassed nicely by Harkless. He's going to be in his face, trying to prevent some opportunities. Shulga all by himself. Bad pass off the side of the standard. And again, just take a deep breath. You're going to be okay. Shulga with back-to-back turnovers.
Max is going to sit down by coach for a second. Odom's going to sit him down and say, stop trying to go baseline. If you've got nowhere to go, stop trying to go baseline.
Aggies have 3 turnovers the last 138. Now they've got 9. After I said they went on a bit of a stretch without turnovers, they
jinxed them.
Reel off 3 in a row. But the Aggies still lead by 6, 38-32 with 2 minutes left here in the first half. But UNLV may have weathered a bit of a storm here. Harkless outside the three-point line, driving, shot up off the glass, no good. Atkin pulls down the rebound quickly to Ashworth, sends it over to Funk. Funk throws it down with 2 hands. It's an 11-0 Taylor Funk run. He's got 17 points on 6 of 7 from the field. That's his first 2-point bucket tonight. Driving, tipped away, that should be out of bounds. It's still in play. It's controlled by UNLV. Step back, drive on the baseline, and a missed dunk, but a foul's going to go against Bairstow. Iwako creates contact on the way up. Ball was deflected away on the baseline. Looked like it was out of bounds on UNLV. Officials didn't call it. Iwako's going to go to the line for a couple of free throws after the foul. Aggies lead by 8 points, 40-32, their largest lead in the first half of 8 points.
One thing that I just noticed when you watch Harkless running around the court trying to get open, Idle Rock's body, in the sense he's thicker and he's a little more physical, is allowing him to not let Harkless create space on him and push off.
Iwako from the free throw line gets the free throw and ends Utah State's 11-0 run.
Interesting, plus minus. Harkless is not going to have a good plus minus. You look at it, this run occurred when he was out. He came in, Utah State makes a run, and Kruger goes back to the previous line.
And he was on the court during the 10-0 run in the early stages of the half.
Yep.
Airballed the free throw. Iwako is 50% from the free throw line, made his first and airballed his second. So sticking with his averages. 40-33, Aggies up by 7, a minute 25 left in the first half. A really entertaining first half between two teams getting after it. Idle Rock weaves it to Bairstow. Bairstow on the left side looking for Ashworth. Ashworth rotates to the right. Guarded closely by Iwako. A little bit of a mismatch there. Kick it to Funk. Funk will take another 3. Wow! Misses it, but he was 4 feet behind the line and looked like it was going to drop for him.
14 feet behind the line. He was deep.
This place would have gone nuts had he buried that one. McCabe pounding the dribble, leaves it left to Rodriguez, and another foul. Is that going to go against Bairstow? It does, and that's his second. And that is the 17th foul on Utah State. That'll send UNLV to line for a 1-and-1 with Hall, who steps to the line once again. Hall went 2 for 2 on his first trip to the line. By the way, Keyshawn Hall makes the free throw. He has not played a single Mountain West Conference game this year. This is his first Mountain West Conference game.
He's playing well for him, really well for him.
40-34. Second free throw is up and doesn't have the most cleanest motion, but he's 4 for 4 from the line. And the Aggie lead is 5. UNLV, last 3 points, all from the free throw line. Ashworth drives, bucket, and 1. Stephen Ashworth, tell you what, if you blink, he goes right past you, draws the foul, gets the bucket, and has a chance to push the lead back to 8.
And that's where, they ran that play 2 or 3 times so far, gets the handoff, and they think they're coming back to swing to the other side of the floor. Steven catches him sleeping for a second. Ashworth
shoots the free throw, makes it. Probably would have been a lane violation had he not made it, but the Aggies back up by 8, 43-35. It's about a 8-second differential, game clock to shot clock. So the Aggies should have an opportunity. Let's see what UNLV does. Hall drives against Funk, gets up under, lays it up and in. Clock continuing to run with 20 seconds left. Shot clock is off, and the Aggies can hold here for the last shot. 6-point lead, 43-37. Hall has got 13 points. Ashworth, 7 seconds, 6 seconds to Funk. Rises, long 3, yes! Holy smokes, from the parking lot! And Utah State will take a 9-point lead, 20 points in the half for Taylor Funk. 7 of 9 from the field, 6 of 8 from 3, and Utah State leads 46-37 at the break against the Rebels. Give that man the ball the rest of the second half.
He's feeling it. He's got 20. Unbelievable first half by Taylor Funk. Just a shooting spectacle from all over the court. Made his first, and he didn't look back from there.
Bryant Heating and Cooling is a proud sponsor of Aggie Athletics. 5 main types of Bryant Heating and Cooling systems to meet home comfort needs. More information is available at Bryant.com. We'll take a break, come back. We'll kick off your halftime show next on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. Alternating possession will give the ball to Utah State to start the second half, and the Aggies lead by 9, 46-37. So this is, we talk about stretches, we talk about starts of halves, ends of halves. Utah State with a late 3 takes a 9-point lead. Will have the ball, I think, these first 5 minutes. If Utah State can really push a double-digit lead, maybe they can run away and hide. I don't think that'll be the case against an uber-physical UNLV team, but it'll be interesting to see for sure.
This has definitely been a game of runs. Utah State came out, UNLV punched back, and Utah State finished this first half strong. You know, it would be really simple if Taylor Funk scores another 20.
Yeah, that'd be great. By the way, Taylor Funk's career high in an Aggie uniform, so I guess season high is 22. He's done it twice. Had 20 in that first half. Uh-oh, that's going to go against Dorius. Yep. Dorius runs over Harkless, and Trevin picks up his second foul. So Utah State on the foul turns it over, and UNLV will start their first possession here in the second half. 46-37, Aggies lead by 9. Harkless, who only played 8 minutes in that first half. Drive, shot up by Rodriguez is up and good, and UNLV gets the first points of the second half, 46-39.
Steven knows he can't let the guard get around him that easily.
Ashworth leaves it to Funk, gives it right back to Ashworth. And harassed and fouled, and Keyshawn Gilbert looks at the official, goes, yeah, I did it, and I'm probably going to attack him the same way.
There's kind of a thought process for some teams. Foul him 30 times, refs will blow their whistle 20 times.
Yeah.
Foul him 40 times, refs will still blow their whistle 20 times.
Shulga to Ashworth. Ashworth drives baseline, slip it to Bairstow, gives it to Shulga. Shulga collects, and another turnover as he got up in the air, lost it, and could not be the first to touch it. So Utah State with 2 turnovers, and quickly RJ Eilerock comes in as Shulga is going to take a seat and is going to have a little chat with Coach Odom and Coach Dixon and Coach Henry.
Yeah, Coach Odom very clearly, go take a seat until you get your head right.
Webster hands to Gilbert. Gilbert crosses over, spins, has the ball knocked away. Does it get off his foot? Yes, it does. Utah State's ball. Good job by Aggies, by Utah State getting in there and forcing the turnover.
That was Eilerock on the help side. Once again, I really think Utah State needs to just continue to attack that switch, high pick and roll with Trevin.
Bounce pass to Funk. Funk drives off the glass, no good. Tipped out, controlled by Utah State. Gilbert quickly in transition. Doesn't have numbers, so he waits. Webster collects on the baseline. Sling it left to Rodriguez. Down low to Harkless, posting up against Eilerock. Takes the shot, misses it. I think the size of Eilerock's bothering UNLV and Harkless. Eilerock quickly draws the foul on the drive. Iwaku picks it up, and Utah State will inbound. That'll already be 2 quick fouls on UNLV in the first 90 seconds.
Yeah, you said it exactly. I think Eilerock's bigger body doesn't allow Harkless to push him around like he wants to. Tell you what, this UNLV team is getting more and more aggressive.
Yes. Let's see how Utah State responds. By the way, in case you're just joining us, no Z Hamoda in this game. Suffering from an illness, will not go. Ashworth driving baseline, double team, swings a long cross-court pass. Idle Rock down low to, well, stolen away. Sorry, Ryan Odom's in my way. Pass in the post, stolen away by Iwaku. Now Harkless with the ball. Aggies have turned it over already 3 times here in the second half. Utah State still leads by 7 though, 46-39. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Looking to drive is Gilbert. Swings it right. Good look for 3 is up and missed. And the rebound falls right in the hands of Funk. Funk on the right wing to Bairstow. Bairstow up top to Funk, then to Ashworth. Ashworth closely guarded by Webster. Gives it back to Funk. Harkless is in his back pocket. Bairstow back to Funk. Funk driving baseline. Slings it down low and another bad pass stolen away. And here comes UNLV in transition. Layup is up and good as Rodriguez goes coast to coast. 4 turnovers and Utah State already 13 turnovers in the game. That magic number of 12 is sunk.
Scotty, this is the physicality that we're talking about, and this is toughness. This is all
and
it
another
comes down
turnover.
to.
Harkless steals it away from Ashworth, driving, attacking, shot good, and the foul. Keyshawn Gilbert gets the bucket, draws the foul, and UNLV has cut Utah State's lead to 5 with a field goal or with a free throw coming up.
You're going to see Dan come in, Max come in. I don't love that when you think of what worked in the beginning of the first half was that high pick and roll, getting it to Trevin on the roll and attacking the mismatch. They didn't give him a chance to do that, only once, and now they're going to avoid playing that way, unfortunately.
5 turnovers for Utah State in the first 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Free throw is missed. Atkin can't corral it, finally is able to steal it away, and he's fouled. And you're right, UNLV is just going to be like, hey, we're going to be contesting everything, and we'll let the officials sort it out.
I'm telling you, this is as a team, they need to huddle together and they need to decide that they aren't going to get punked, because that is exactly what Utah State is trying, or that's what UNLV is trying to do. They are going to try to punk these guys.
And UNLV saying they're not going to call a foul every single time.
Exactly. Refs aren't going to blow the whistle every time.
Inbound to Funk. Funk gives it right back to Shulga. Utah State has yet to score. They've been outscored 6-0 here in the second half. It's a 3-point game. 46-43. Shulga leaves it for Atkin. Atkin pump fakes, attacks the rim, can't finish at the rim, gets his own rebound, and is tied up. It's a jump ball, and it'll go back to UNLV. Crowd doesn't like it, but it's a good call. Tied up underneath the bucket. It seems like Atkins really struggled over the last several games with physicality at the rim and finishing at the rim.
He has, and then he starts to let that get in his head, and he starts worrying too much about what the refs are doing than finishing.
Inbound, Webster. Webster looking on the low block, looking for Hall. Hall driving, spins around Funk, has positioning, and pushes it up and in. It's an 8-0 run for UNLV to start the second half, and it's a 1-point Aggie lead. 46-45. Aggies have yet to score here in the second half. The physicality, once again, creating all kinds of problems for this Aggie offense. Ashworth guarded by Gilbert. Comes around the screen. There's the switch. He gives it back to Shulga. Shulga back to Ashworth. Ashworth in the lane, kicks it to Idle Rock. Idle Rock gets around his man, creates some space, leaves it for Atkin, who throws it down, the two-handed dunk. Idle Rock with the physicality on the drive, creating space.
That's exactly right. You saw him kind of use his booty to create space, got there and dropped it off to Dan.
Keyshawn Gilbert outside the three-point line, guarded by Ashworth. Hall comes up to set a screen, swings it left. Webster on the baseline. Back up top to Gilbert. Gilbert left wing. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 4, 3, step back. Long shot is going to be way short. Rebound pulled down by Ashworth. Kick it to Idle Rock. Idle Rock in transition. Attacks. Reverse layup. That's a goaltend. That's a bucket. And Idle Rock coming up with some big plays to give Utah State the lead by 5. 50-45 brings us to our first media timeout. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield. 50-45, Utah State leads by 5, 15-17 left in the ball game. Uber physical, it's nasty, it's a drag-out fight, and frankly, you wouldn't have it any other way. Did you know 74% of Utahns get prescriptions from a friend or family member? That's why we all have a role to play in prescription safety. Know your script. Keep those medications safely stored or get rid of them. To learn more, visit knowyourscript.org. Well, you wrote the script on this one. This is the way you thought this thing was going to play out.
Yeah, UNLV coming out with a chip on their shoulder, as we said. They're 1-4 in the Mountain West Conference right now. Lost a heartbreaker to Colorado State. Kruger's got his guys with attitude, and they're just going to try to take it from the Aggies tonight. Utah State facing the test in the second half. Guys are going to have to step up and be strong with that basketball, because the refs, they aren't. We talked about it. The refs are going to blow the whistle, but not every single time. So UNLV's going to get away with some stuff. And normally the whistle will go to the aggressor.
Yeah. All right. Utah State sees UNLV set to inbound the ball. And no Harkless again. I'm not sure if he's injured or if the coaching staff's trying to make a message here.
I think he's got 3 fouls.
He is dealing with the fouls, but it's a tough stretch for sure. And a foul is going to go against Ashworth. And no, Idlerod gets hit with a foul on the drive from UNLV. Let's see if the Aggies match this physicality. This has been a point of emphasis for this coaching staff, saying, look, we are going to be physical. We have to respond to physicality. And they knew they were going to get a good dose of that in this game tonight. 20 seconds on the shot clock. It's the third team foul on Utah State. UNLV also with 3 team fouls. And McCabe set to inbound. Up top to Iwaku, to McCabe. McCabe on the left wing. Slings it to Gilbert. Gilbert against Idle Rock. Back up top to McCabe. Driving again is Hall. Puts the shot up. Man, he is a big body and he is getting buckets. Keyshawn Hall with a bucket tonight. He has done very little for UNLV all season long, but he's having a career night tonight as a freshman.
Told you, his comp is Kenny Lofton out of Louisiana Tech.
Shulga swings it to Funk. Funk's got a wide open 3. No good. Atkins skies for the offensive rebound and then is promptly fouled with 5 UNLV players surrounding him. For Funk, that's only his 3rd missed three-pointer of the night tonight. He is 6 of 9 with 20 points on the board. Sometimes halftime can be the biggest problem for Funk. He goes in and cools down and can't get that rhythm going again. Inbound to Akin. Akin to Ashworth. He'll take the baseline 3. Leave that short and gets his own rebound. For all you junior jazzers out there, follow your shot. Funk back to Ashworth on the baseline. Leaves it back for Funk. Bad pass is going to go out of bounds. Turnover Utah State. 16th on the night tonight.
Once again, the challenge, UNLV forcing to the baseline. Steven got in trouble there. Shulga had done it before as well. You get down there with that big physical long bodies, it's hard to find a place to release the pass to.
Number 24, Jackie Johnson, back into the game for UNLV. He had some good moments in the first half. McCabe to Hall. Hall back to Rodriguez. Now to Hall. Cross-court pass to McCabe. Ashworth tried to get a hand in it, but McCabe controls the dribble. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Iwaku, his floater in the lane is up and good. And Utah State, not a lot of size out on the court right now, and UNLV's making them pay. It's a one-point game again, 50-49. UNLV's made 5 out of their last 6 field goals, and they've outscored Utah State 12-4 here in the second half. Shulga on the baseline. Shulga driving against Hall, and he's fouled on that drive. That'll be the 15th foul on UNLV with 13:42 left in the half, and Trevin Dorius is going to check back in.
3rd for Hall. That's actually a pretty big deal for Utah State. Big fella's going to have to go to the bench. Maybe not. Maybe not. Kruger's going to trust him and not have him go to the bench.
And here's Carl Jones, who's been a DMP in 8 out of the last 9 games. He comes into the game, number 22. UNLV going deep with some players that we just haven't seen much this year. And another foul goes against UNLV on a hold. That'll be the 16th foul on the Rebels. So now with 6 early fouls, keep an eye on this, because sometimes when the fouls really pile up, then the officials kind of like back off a bit.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Inbound, in trouble for 5 seconds. Ashworth receives the pass near his own free throw line and then quickly brings the ball down the court. It's 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ashworth rises for 3, left wing. Yes, sir. Stephen Ashworth buries the 3. His second made three of the night. He's got 9 points. 2 of 6 from beyond the three-point line. Jackie Johnson swings it right. McCabe comes around a screen. Works to the right side of the court to Rodriguez. Driving against Shulga. Kicks it back to McCabe. He'll try to get that three right back. Leaves it short. Shulga with the rebound. Shulga quickly in transition. Ball poked away from behind. A turnover with McCabe going the other way. Shulga tries to get the steal back. Instead, McCabe takes the three. Right wing looks good, and it is good. Oh, points off of turnovers. UNLV is piling them up tonight. 23 points off of 17 Utah State turnovers.
First, Max being loose with the ball in transition, and then Steven over helping. He can't help that much off of McCabe. 53-52. Foul on the drive is going to send Utah State to the line. Shulga gets the drive. It'll be the 17th foul on UNLV, and Shulga is going to go to the line for a 1-and-1. What a game tonight. David Muwaka comes into the game. This is, by the way, the first game of the year Muwaka did not start. He has started 17 games but did not get the start in this one, and only played limited minutes in the first half. In fact, he only played 2 minutes and drew that foul, and then he came right back out. Here comes Shulga, front end of a 1-and-1. It is up, and it is good. Earns him one more. 54-52. Feels like points are going to come at a premium tonight here in the second half. I was going to say that, and I think a lot of them are going to come from the free throw line. Really important for the Aggies to focus here.
Bairstow set to check in. Idle Rock, who's been really good tonight, gets a nice applause from the crowd and deserves it. Idle Rock has been great. Here comes Shulga with a second free throw. Aggie shooting 60% from the field here in the ball game. Second free throw is up and good. Aggies now 10 of 11 from the free throw line. And here comes Jordan McCabe crossing the timeline, the West Virginia transfer. Slings it left to Johnson, back up top to Rodriguez. Down in the post to Hall. Hall has made a living, spins around Dorius, blocked from behind. Dorius will have none of that nonsense. Here comes Utah State in transition. Ashworth to Shulga. Shulga driving. Shulga in the post. Back to Ashworth. Ashworth gets around McCabe. Ashworth a floater with the right hand. It's up and good. Ashworth at double figures with 11 points and a timeout on the court by UNLV. We'll take a quick 1-minute timeout. Aggies up by 5, 57-52 on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. Nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like TicketSmarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit TicketSmarter.com or on the app. TicketSmarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. So I'm trying to think of the least misogynistic way to say this, but UNLV is challenging the manhood of Utah State in this game tonight. Yeah,
that's exactly what they're doing. I think, obviously, teams have scouting reports, and Boise was the first one that teams thought, hey, we saw Boise get really physical with the Aggies, and they struggled. Now, I do think Utah State's offensive woes early contributed to them not being able to put it together in that game. Nevada, same type of thing. Utah State is coming out and just trying to, I use the term, just punk them. Give Idle Rock credit, give the Aggies credit. They caught their composure after that 8-0 run by UNLV, and they've been secure with the basketball. But Kruger's shown he's got enough bodies to throw in there, give a couple fouls, and if they get some steals off of it, that's what they're looking for. Harkless back in the game, as you mentioned, dealing with 3 fouls in this game. Has only got 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field. He can get it going at any given moment, averaging 21.6 points per game in 5 Mountain West Conference plays. Aggies bring the zone. Johnson thought about the 3, still with the dribble. Leaves it to the elbow to Harkless. Harkless takes the 3, leaves it short, and the ball tipped around and controlled. It'll go out of bounds, Utah State's ball. Trying to switch looks up. I haven't seen that 1-3-1 with Steven on the baseline, Trevin in the middle, and Dan out on the wing. So unique defense, and I think that's what the Aggies were hoping to do, give them a different look. And that brings us to another timeout. 1-minute timeout, 11:43 left in the game. Aggies up 57-52 on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. From the field, UNLV 53%, Aggies 9 of 19
from 3. UNLV 3 of 11. H&R Block can help you with tax returns because, let's be honest, they're confusing. And H&R Block has more than 60 years dealing with those taxes. Information is available at hrblock.com. H&R Block of Logan, owned and operated by proud Aggie alumni. All right, Utah State will have the ball. Harkless is an interesting count. He's taken 27% of UNLV's three-point attempts this year, and he's making 24%.
That's good for the other team.
Yeah, but it always makes you nervous because that one at the end of the game where you think he might get you. Shulga nearly has it stripped away, leaves it for Dorius. Floater a little short for Dorius, and Dorius is going to pick up a foul, and Harkless is going to draw it, and Dorius will now have 3.
I mentioned earlier in the game, it's the 1 or 2 stupid fouls that you get, ticky-tack, that you don't need to. That's the one right there.
Yep. 57-52. McCabe has the ball in the left wing, rotates it to Gilbert. Gilbert then down low to Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking for Harkless, cross-court pass on the left side. Gilbert driving up top to McCabe. McCabe stepping behind the three-point line, leaves it for Harkless. Back to Rodriguez, driving, attacking, and no good. Good defensive presence there by Utah State. Aggies out in the open court. Bairstow attacks, not fouled, and Dorius collects the rebound, but his foot is on the line. Bairstow wanted the foul call. They didn't give it to him, and Utah State turns it over as Dorius comes in with the offensive rebound, but steps on the line.
That was a horrible. Watching the replay, McCabe grabbed his arm. Bairstow, horrible, but that's Ajay. That's what we're talking about. They're not going to call all the fouls.
McCabe leaves it for Harkless. Harkless on the left wing, swings it up top to Rodriguez. 3, right wing is up by McCabe and good, and looks over at the student section and says a few words. It's a 2-point game, 57-55. That's a big swing on the no call on the foul, and then a 3 on the other end. Ashworth, quick 3 on the other end, no good, and the rebound fought for, and UNLV comes away with it. Rebels have a chance to tie or take the lead. Harkless, full set of steam, gets the bucket, offensive foul! Oh, that's 4 fouls on E.J. Harkless, and let's see what Kevin Kruger decides to do with his star. Yep, Hall's coming in. That's the 18th foul. No, Hall's coming in for Iwaku, and Harkless is going to stay out there. Nope, here we go. Justin Webster's now going to check in. That's a huge turning point in this game. If they call that a bucket, it'll be a bucket and a foul for a chance to take the lead. Instead, Utah State has a chance to extend the lead on the other end. Aggies win this game. That's going to be a point to look at. 57-55. Utah State leads by 2. Ashworth, alley-oop looking for Bairstow. It's deflected. Akin, though, comes away with it. Leaves it for Shulga. Shulga back to Akin. Oh, just lost the handle. Good pass. He just dropped the ball. And another bad pass on the other end. That's going to go out of bounds and should be Utah State's ball. It is. Oh, boy, everybody playing loosey-goosey. Atkins just got to corral that ball. I think he saw a dunk in his future and just dropped it.
Yep.
And how much when everybody's swiping at it and you finally have a good look for a pass, does that alter your mindset because you're so quick to rattled? Yeah.
Absolutely. Some guys it does.
Ashworth to Shulga, straightaway 3. Yes! Max Shulga needed that one. His first made field goal of the night tonight. Back to a 5-point game, 60-55. Rodriguez on the right wing, rises for 3 against Bairstow. That's long, and Shulga plucks the rebound from midair. Quickly to Ashworth. Ashworth, hesitation dribble, then to Funk. Then a bad pass in the corner to Bairstow, and another turnover. Aggies getting a little too cute out there, leading by 5, 60-55.
These guys might double up my goal of under 12. 17 turnovers so far.
How about 19?
19. There you go. Stephen Ashworth flirting with a double-double right now with 9 assists.
Also 4 rebounds. All right, here we go. 5-point game. Aggies have had a couple opportunities to extend this lead, and they haven't been able to do it. Hall going to work. A foul is going to go against Akin on the drive by Hall.
ISO, that's what they're going to try to play. Hall, that Kenny Lofton style play right now. Just go one-on-one.
Gilbert will inbound, 20 seconds back on the shot clock. Looking for Webster. Webster collects. Webster drives in the lane, has the lane. Blocked, though, from behind by Funk. Funk gets a block shot. Funk running the offense. Cross court to Shulga. Shulga on the left wing. Bad pass, nearly stolen away. Atkins down on the court, gives it back to Shulga. Aggies just all out of sorts.
Max has got to firm up with the ball right now. It's really important for them.
Funk back to Shulga. Shulga straight away. Shulga driving, reverse layup. No good, but draws the foul. He'll go to the line for two. 60-55, 8:41 left to go in the game. And the Aggies have only scored 14 points after scoring 46 points in the first half. Only have 14 here in the second frame. Shulga goes to the line for 2 free throws. Aggies up by 5, 60-55. That's the 19th foul on UNLV. Just one away from putting Utah State in the double bonus. Max makes the first free throw. Luis Rodriguez into the game. Webster checks out. Second free throw coming up for Shulga. Aggies lead by 6, 61-55. Second free throw is good as well. And the Aggies have now shot 13 free throws tonight. 12 of 13. Gilbert on the baseline, driving against Shulga. Up, under, blocked by Funk again. This one goes out of bounds. It'll stay with UNLV. Taylor Funk coming into this game with 12 block shots. He's got 14 on the season with 2 tonight.
Good job of team defense. That's what everyone's got to do. Help each other out right now.
21 seconds on the shot clock. Baseline 3 is up, well short. Ashworth quickly in transition, all by himself. Lay it up. No, he blew the layup. Funk with the rebound. Funk kicks it back to Shulga. Shulga cross court to Bairstow. Long 3, no good. And the rebound fought for and controlled by UNLV. Ashworth blew the layup. Doesn't happen often, folks. Aggies up by 7, 62-55. McCabe kicks it up top, controlled by Gilbert. Gilbert guarded by Ashworth. 14 seconds on the shot clock, under 8 minutes left to go in the game. Gilbert lying up Ashworth, looking for a screen from Hall, gets it. Atkin comes out on the switch. Driving in the lane, looking for a driver, shot up and lays it up at the buzzer. That's Luis Rodriguez. Nice handoff and an easy bucket.
Yeah, that's Max sleeping once again. Tapped his chest and said, my bad.
62-57, 5-point game. Ashworth bounce pass to Atkin. Atkin double teamed. Atkin triple teamed. Leaves it for Ashworth for 3. No good. Rebound pulled down by Rodriguez. Quick pass down court, controlled by UNLV. McCabe steps back, takes the long 3, buries it, and a 5-0 run has cut the lead to 2, 62-60. Utah State's only made 1 out of their last 7 field goals, and Utah State will call a timeout with 7:05 left in the half with UNLV on a run. It's a full 1-minute timeout. You're listening to Aggie Basketball, 62-60. Aggies up by 2 on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. It's been a back-and-forth battle. Utah State just a moment ago led by 7. UNLV has now cut it to 2, 62-60. As UNLV just will not go away, and Utah State has had opportunities to put them away, and they haven't been able to do it. Scoring summary brought to you by your Utah pork producers. From farm to fork, Utah pork producers are committed to providing nutritious pork products to Aggie fans and families. Visit utahporkproducers.org. I'll tell you what, there's these moments in a game where you're like, okay, here comes the run. Who's the run buster?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That breakaway layup, obviously, but you think of the last 2 layups. You think of Bairstow in transition, who obviously got fouled. He got grabbed at the elbow, but then Steven just missed that. Just little things like that make such a big difference. It's going to happen on the defensive end, though, obviously. Yeah. The offense needs to come, and we'll see who steps up to this point. Guys have stepped up.
Utah State, that layup by Ashworth would have given them a 9-point lead, and now it's down to 2. Taylor Funk, by the way, is only he had 20 points at the half, and has only attempted 2 field goal attempts, 0 for 2 here in the second half. All right, Funk inbounds to Ashworth. Aggies need points here. UNLV starting to fill it. Ashworth outside the 3-point line, leaves it for Funk. Back to Ashworth. Ashworth comes to the right side of the court. Gilbert's on him. Leaves it for Shulga. Shulga receives some contact. No foul. Kicks it back to Bairstow. Bairstow driving in the lane. Bairstow fadeaway jumper. Good. Great shot by Sean Bairstow. He's got 7 points. Only his second field goal tonight. He's 2 for 5. Big bucket when the Aggies needed it. 64-60. McCabe, who's had a nice game as well, leaves it for Hall at the elbow. Goes against Atkin, puts a body into him. Nearly travels with it. Back to McCabe. Ashworth quickly out as McCabe thought about the three. Comes around to screen. Here comes the switch. Funk on McCabe. Now leaves it for Gilbert. Gilbert attacks. Lost the handle. Bad shot attempt. And here comes Utah State going the other way.
Corner.
Leaves it for Bairstow. Bairstow misses the dunk. Oh my gosh. And a long pass on the other end goes out of bounds, and UNLV turns it over. Iwaku is hurt on the baseline as another back-to-back opportunities. Bairstow was in the lane and just didn't have the elevation to finish.
No, he had Funk in the corner now. He had a wide open layup, so you don't necessarily give that up. But yeah, 3 layups now we're looking at. I guess I should say 2. One was fouled, but
Iwaku is now up and walking over to the sideline. But an injury timeout, and Utah State leads by 4, 64-60 in a ragged back-and-forth game. UNLV's turned it over 10 times. Utah State, 19 turnovers. Funk will inbound. Isle Rock's going to check in for somebody. Comes in for Shulga. Shulga's out. RJ's had some good moments here in this game. Funk inbounds to Ashworth. Aggies trying to push this lead. Leads by 4. Largest lead here in the second half has been 8.
You heard Odom yell, "Get the switch," and they were able to get it.
Ashworth on the right side. Ashworth driving. Ball plucked away. Falls in the hands of Atkin, and Atkin is fouled. Or what do we call it? Yep, foul. So Atkin's going to go to the line for 2 free throws as UNLV has put Utah State in the double bonus, and that is the 5th foul on Harkless. His night is done. So Harkless on the night tonight, or came into this game, averaging nearly 18 points a game on the season and 22 points a game in Mountain West Conference play. And he's going to end the game fouling out with only 2 points and 1 of 5 from the field. UNLV has been great tonight without him. This doesn't, I mean, he's a superstar and superstar makes plays, but UNLV hasn't needed him tonight at all.
They are going to review it, I think, is what they're trying to do.
64-60, 4-point lead for Utah State. They were lining up for the free throws, and now Atkin has to step off the line as they go to the review.
I think it was Harkless that fouled, but I think the whistle was supposed to go to Gilbert. I mean, but I think Harkless did foul him. He was slapping down on the wrist.
64-60. UNLV, as the crowd cheers as Harkless takes a seat. Again, can't emphasize enough how great he's been as the officials now continue to talk at midcourt. Keith Kimball, your lead official. Great student section once again. Great, pretty good crowd overall, but the student section is just tremendous here in Logan tonight. 5:43 left to go here in the game. Utah State nursing a 4-point lead.
Changed it.
It's been changed. Harkless is not out.
Gave it to number 10, Gilbert, who I said, he reached in there as well, but it could have been given to Harkless as well.
So Harkless is not out. He remains in the game. Gilbert picks up the foul. It'll still be 10 team fouls, and it'll still be 2 free throws for Dan Atkin. Let's see if they put Harkless back in the game. They will. So with 5:43 left to go, Harkless with 4 fouls and avoids fouling out of the game. Will that come back and bite Utah State? Atkin with 2 free throws. First one is no good, off the side of the iron. He's 1 for 2 on the night tonight. Atkin, who had a stretch of 13 games where he's in double figures, 12 out of those 13, has only reached double figures once out of the last 4 games. Makes the second free throw. It's a 5-point game, 65-60. Atkin on the night tonight has got 6 points and 7 rebounds and 1 assist. And attacking the rim, laying it up and in. Gilbert gets the bucket and the foul. R.J. Idle-Rock tried to anticipate and get the steal. And as soon as he did, Gilbert got right around him and lays it up and in, gets the bucket and the foul. You try to cheat, sometimes it comes and gets you.
Yeah, and I got to give Gilbert credit. He is not easy to guard. He's been able to get to the rim when he's wanted to tonight. He's long, he's athletic, he's got good handles. He's a very good basketball player.
Iwaku, who was down on the court with an injury, checks in. Harkless is going to check out. And here comes Gilbert with a free throw attempt. And it is missed, and the rebound pulled down by Utah State. Atkin pulls down the board. Atkin now with 8 rebounds to go along with his 6 points. It's a 3-point lead for Utah State. Ashworth on the left wing, looking for Funk. Funk on the right side, back to Bairstow. Bairstow cross court to Idle-Rock, then to Bairstow. Bairstow back to Ashworth. Straightaway 3, no good. Ashworth doesn't look like he's got legs tonight, or at least here in the second half. 3-point game. UNLV can tie with a 3. Gilbert behind the line, swings it right to Webster. Or McCabe, excuse me. McCabe driving, stops, turns around, up, under, layup is no good. Great rebound, by the way, by Atkin. Aggies lead by 3, trying to push this to a 2-possession game. Funk on the right wing. Only 2 field goal attempts here in the second half by Funk, who's got 20, but all of those coming in the first half. Funk to Idle-Rock on the baseline. Has some space, attacks, puts the shot up. It's way short. Funk pulls down the offensive rebound. Funk in the lane, has the ball stolen away, and it's taken away by Hall. Here comes UNLV, quickly down the court. Driving baseline, attacking, shot good. And it's a 1-point game as Rodriguez gets the driving layup from the baseline, 65-64. Aggies have had struggles offensively here in the second half. Ashworth on the right wing has the ball stolen away. Bad pass, and it'll be a fast break opportunity and a throwdown dunk. Rodriguez gives UNLV the lead. Aggies are 1 of 7 from the field. Utah State has seen UNLV go on a 6-0 run, and the Aggies need a timeout. Now down by 1, 66-65 with 3:55 left to go in the game. 21 turnovers on the night tonight have led to 27 points for UNLV. Timeout on the court. That's our Under 4 media timeout. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. All right, about 90 seconds ago in game time, Utah State led by 5. Now they trail by 1, 66-65 to UNLV. UNLV's outscored Utah State by 10 here in the second half, 29-19. Aggies had 46 points in the first half, only 19 here in the second, as UNLV has been physical, they've been aggressive, they forced turnovers, and the Aggies have not been able to respond. So, if you're Utah State here, Spencer, how do you try to generate some points and get this thing back in your favor?
So, in that huddle, obviously, Coach Odom is talking about get to your spots, slow down, and execute. All of the turnovers are happening because there's a frantic kind of urgency to do something. Instead of going faster, go slower and execute and hold your man off. And so these guys got to just buckle down, take care of the basketball, and get shots. If they're able to get shots, they're going to be great. But the problem is they've had so many turnovers this second half that they're not getting shots. And UNLV with 27 points off turnovers, that is the exact way that UNLV wanted to play tonight.
UNLV on a 6-0 run. They made 5 out of their last 7 field goals. Aggies need points here. Stephen Ashworth being guarded closely. Works to the right side of the court. Leaves it for Bairstow. Bairstow sees Shulga come up. Bounce pass in the lane. Atkin attacks. Atkin gets the bucket and 1. There you go. Dan attacking Atkin with the bucket, draws the foul. Aggies lead by 1, 67-66.
Great play drawn up. Little misdirection, ended up getting Scholga on the down screen. Both guys run to him. He recognizes it, kicks to Dan, and Dan finishes.
Here comes Dan Atkin with the free throw. 1 for 2 on his last trip. And it doesn't go for him. And what do we got, lane violation? Yep. Atkin's drawn a ton of lane violations this year.
He's got a little hesitation on his release, and that can throw guys off. Trevin Dorey is about to come into the game, and I really, really like that substitution.
Here comes Atkin. See if second time is a charm. It is. And Trevin Dorius is going to check in for Dan. Dan Atkins got 9 points on the night tonight, 3 of 4 from the field and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 9 and 9 for Dan as he approaches a double-double. He's got 5 double-doubles on the year this year. We'll see if he can get to 6. 68-66. Aggies lead by 2 after that three-point play. Well, UNLV's offense has been clicking here. Back to a zone for Utah State. Driving is Gilbert. Gilbert has to kick it back out to Rodriguez, who's been good. To Hall, who's been really good. Slings it right. Driving baseline. Up, under, kick it left to McCabe, then to Rodriguez. 4 on the shot clock to Hall. Hall will take the long shot, miss it, tipped up, controlled by Ashworth. That was a hard rebound coming off the iron, and Ashworth's able to get a big one. Leaves it right to Bairstow, back to Ashworth. Aggies lead by 2 with 3:04 left to go in the game.
Get the switch.
Gather
there
around
you go.
Here we go, Bairstow up top to Ashworth. Ashworth near the midcourt logo, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ashworth, baseline, fadeaway jumper. It's a little short. Atkin pulls down the rebound, and it's ripped out of his hands. Keyshawn Hall steals it away. 2-point game, 68-66. Ashworth struggled with his shot here down the stretch here in the second half. Cross-court pass, McCabe thought about the 3. Instead, gives it back to Rodriguez. Drives back to McCabe. He'll take that 3. Looks good, it is good. And UNLV leads by 1. 69-68. McCabe now with 17 points on the night, 5 of 6 from 3. And the Aggies get the lead back. Scholga driving. Scholga leaves it to Bairstow. Back to Dorius. Dorius lost the handle, has to recollect. Puts it off the glass, leaves it short. Rebound UNLV. Oh boy. And UNLV with a 1-point lead and the ball with 2:03. Taylor Funk's going to check in on the next dead ball. McCabe crosses the timeline. He's going to run some clock here. 17, 16, 15. UNLV leads by 1, 69-68. Gilbert looking for Rodriguez. Rodriguez steps back, now drives against Bairstow. Spins, puts the shot up, and no good. Kicked off the glass, controlled by Scholga. 1:35 left to go in the game. Aggies trail by 1, 69-68. Scholga gets around his man, drives baseline, cut off. Leaves it back for Ashworth. Can Steven hit a big shot here down the stretch? To Bairstow. Bairstow driving. Bairstow lost the handle, out of bounds. Should be Utah State's ball. It is with 12 seconds left. Was looking for Dorius in the post, but the ball deflected away and will go back to Utah State with 12 seconds on the shot clock. What do you drop here?
Well, out of bounds, normal lineup. Look for them to end up hitting Atkin and hand off to Ashworth.
Atkin to Ashworth, up top to Funk, cross court to Bairstow. Bairstow's going to drive, leaves it for Funk. Funk to Ashworth, wide open, straightaway 3. Yes! Put it on the board. Aggies up by 2, 71-69. Aggies needed that one in a big way. Timeout, UNLV. 1 minute left to go in the game. Let's go ahead and keep it here, Spencer. Stephen Ashworth, his shot hasn't been great tonight, but he hit that one when he needed it most.
Yeah, that's one thing that Stephen definitely has is a short memory and guts, and that's exactly what he needed on that one. Good job. The initial action of the handoff, they didn't get it. They swung it back up to the top. Sean drove to the middle, didn't really have anywhere to go, and that's where Stephen curled around, caught his man sleeping for a second, and ended up getting it. Sometimes when you're doing that 5-man switching, which UNLV is, a big gets swatched on a guard. Hull was on him, snuck into the key, got caught there, and then Stephen makes him pay for it.
71-69, 1 minute left to go, and it's going to come down to stops.
Yeah, it's going to be defense. Once again, Toughness, toughness, toughness. Aggies have been able to get a couple stops. Now we'll see what they do if they come out with a man, if they show a 1-3-1 that they have, or the 2-3. Unfortunately, McCabe has made them pay in the zone, so I would expect they're going to man up and say, got to get stops, boys.
McCabe 5 of 6 from 3. Ashworth's already keeping an eye on him. Cannot give up a wide open 3. If it's a 2, so be it, but can't give up the 3. Here comes Gilbert trying to get around Shulga. Driving, bounce past a Hall. Offensive foul, yes! Hall puts his shoulder down into Akin. Akin draws the charge. It's Utah State's ball. 71-69, and the Aggies can run some clock.
That's a good call by the ref. That's exactly what happened. Young fella freshman used his body.
All right. UNLV probably will not foul. There's about a 20-second differential. But if the Aggies can get 2 here and make it a 2-possession game. Ashworth being guarded out on the left wing. Gets past his man, then retreats. Works to the right side, hands over to Funk, back to Ashworth. 10 seconds on the shot clock, guarded by Hall. Ashworth, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, drives baseline. In trouble, needs to get rid of it, and will call a timeout with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
Well, they got their money's worth of that shot clock, but now they've got to draw up something really good for a really quick shot.
Let's take a 1-minute coach's timeout. It all comes down to this. 24 seconds left. Aggies up by 2 on the Aggie Sports Network from Learfield. 69, 24 seconds left in this one. Let's set the scene for you. Aggies lead by 2, have the ball, but only have 2 seconds left on the shot clock. If they can get a bucket here, make it a 2-possession game, certainly goes heavy in their favor. But here comes Shulga, will inbound.
Typically, Steven's the inbounder, so look for Steven to be the one getting the shot.
Shulga waiting for Ashworth. Instead, go to Bairstow. Bairstow from the free throw line. Yes! Holy smokes, what a shot by Sean Bairstow. 73-69. Aggies with a 2-possession lead. Sean with the bucket of the game. 21 seconds left. Kevin Kruger is beyond livid. Is he saying somebody got held on that shot?
Saying someone hit the ball after it went through the rim and it went into the crowd. He was upset about delay of game. It drew the play, used Steven as the pawn to get the attention of everyone. Sean set the screen. Both guys go with Steven. Sean ends up with his mid-range tough 15-footer, and he knocked it down.
All right, let's talk about defense here. 21 seconds left. You can concede a bucket, but you want to at least make them use a lot of time to get there. And then it's about free throws on the other end.
Yeah, you're trying to use as much time as possible to delay it. They're going to get downhill as quickly as possible. There's plenty of time, so I would be shocked if they went for the 3. Look for them, Gilbert or Harkless, going downhill to the rim. Utah State just needs to contest it, make sure it's not an and one. That's the biggest thing for the Aggies right now. Do not foul the shooter. And
that certainly is a distinct possibility too, because the way these guys get down court in so quick. Again, if you have to concede a bucket, so be it.
Yeah.
Win it at the free throw line, but do not do the end one.
Exactly, and then if that ball goes through, if you secure the rebound, you have got to be strong with the basketball because these guys are going to rip your arms off, and I would imagine the refs are going to let them play.
Yep. Utah State in the double bonus, so they'll be shooting 2 free throws the rest of the way. 21.9 seconds left. Utah State leads by 4, 73-69. No shot clock is off. Utah State 1 stop away from potentially winning this game. Aggies on the court. Bairstow just hit a huge shot. Shulga, Dorius, Atkin, and Ashworth.
Little details like this matter. Sean getting up so they can't roll the ball to half court and the clock doesn't start. Every second's going to matter in the final 22 right now.
73-69. What a game here in Logan. McCabe will inbound to Gilbert. Aggies looking for their 4th win in Mountain West Conference play and their 15th on the season to a UNLV team that has been overall fantastic in this game tonight. And here we go. Officials finally get the green light. Ryan Odom and Kevin Kruger moving their players like chess pieces on the board. Inbound to Gilbert. Gilbert met at midcourt. Kicks it left. Baseline drive by Hall. Triple teamed. And a foul is going to go against Utah State on Hall. And Hall's going to go to the line for free throws. Is that the 6th or 7th? Oh, it's 1 and 1, so that's the 17th foul. Hall on the night tonight is 4 for 4 from the line, but he's going to shoot into a rabid, nasty student section here at Utah State. Coming into this game, he was only 3 of 6 from the line, but he's been 4 for 4 tonight. 16.2 seconds left. Hall goes to the line. Again, front end of a 1 and 1. You hear the crowd behind him. Here's the shot. It's up. It's good. Perfect. 5 for 5 for the night for Hall, who's got 18 points on the night.
This is, I tell my kids, games won and lost at the free throw line, and the rebounding is so key right here. So key.
Here comes the second free throw by Hall. It's a three-point game, 73-70. It's a 2-point game. He goes 2 for 2. Now you look at free throws. Shulga, Ashworth, and Funk are the 3 that you'd really want shooting. Atkin and Bairstow, not so much. Bairstow will inbound. 16.2 seconds left. You really can't turn the ball over here either. Inbound to Funk. Funk's got open space. Funk, cross-court pass to Bairstow. Bairstow leaves it for Shulga. Shulga will then draw the foul, but the Aggies were able to milk 8 seconds off the clock. Great job by Utah State, great ball movement, and now it's going to come down to Shulga. 2 free throws, 73-71. If he misses one, UNLV will have a chance. Shulga stepping to the line. Here we go.
From a player's perspective, just know most of the time all of us are so much more nervous than Max is right now.
Max Shulga, 2 free throws. Trying to give the Aggies a 2-possession lead, but it all starts with the first one here. Free throw is up, free throw is good. Rattled around but dropped. 3-point game, 74-71, 8.7 seconds left. We'll keep it here. Remember, Bank of Utah and Utah State Athletics are teaming up this basketball season to donate to Hoops for Hope. Every point the Aggies score at home, Bank of Utah will donate $1 to Hoops for Hope. Big thanks to Bank of Utah for supporting Aggie Athletics. All right, while we have a moment, let's all take a deep breath and pause 10 seconds for network stations to identify themselves. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield. All right, 1 free throw to cut this to a 2-possession game, 74-71, as the Aggies have gotten everything they've wanted from a really inspired UNLV team who lost a heartbreaker, should have beaten Colorado State on the road. Isaiah Stevens banks in a 3 to send it into overtime, in which Colorado State eventually goes on to win. And you could tell this team was not about to lay down and roll over and die for Utah State in this one.
I'll give UNLV a lot of credit. Utah State went out to a 9-point lead early in the first half, but they didn't lay down. They came back and fought. Second half has fought. I tell you what, we have all got our money's worth tonight. This has been a great, great basketball game by both teams.
So Utah State still in the huddle. UNLV has broken theirs. The official comes, says, hey, let's shoot a free throw here.
This is, obviously, if he makes it, I think this is to the point with the clock, UNLV has to go for the 3.
Yeah.
coming down. Utah State, once again, do not foul the shooter.
Shulga to give Utah State a 4-point lead. We'll let the crowd tell you if he makes it. He does. I had the wrong mic. Here we go, 4-point game. McCabe driving quickly against Shulga. 5 seconds, takes the quick three. No good off the back of the iron. Controlled by UNLV. The shot at the buzzer doesn't count, and Utah State wins. Aggies get it done. 75-71. Holding UNLV without a field goal for the final 2:30 of this game. And the Aggies get their 4th win in Mountain West Conference play. What a game tonight. What a game. Utah State 75, UNLV 71. Aggies get their 15th win of the season. It wasn't easy, but a W is a W. No such thing as ugly wins.
Aggies will absolutely take that game. That was a phenomenal job. I mean, UNLV, as you said during the broadcast, gave them everything they wanted. Physicality, toughness, all of those things. Utah State held up. I'll tell you what, there's a real benefit to the spectrum. This Aggie crowd, I really do believe this Aggie crowd helped keep them in the game when Utah State kind of had those moments where UNLV came out and punked them, got more physical. This Aggie crowd really kept Utah State motivated to stay in this.
75-71. We'll kick off your post-game show next. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield.